Hello and welcome. Good afternoon. Let's wait for about 3 or 4 minutes. Let everyone join in and then we start off. Let's wait for 2 or 3 minutes. Let people join in. Let's wait for 2 or 3 minutes more. Let everyone join in. Hi, welcome. We're waiting for 2 minutes. Let people join in. Come on, just a minute more and then we start off. Come on, quickly join in, everyone. Thirty more seconds. Come on, quickly. Everyone join in. Alright, let's start. Welcome to Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform that gives you a world of courses, resources, content, live and recorded sessions to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. And also I'd like to welcome you to Crack CA Exams with us, which is a vertical and channel of Unacademy that caters to the students of CA Foundation and Intermediate in their journey and pursuit of preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination by providing top educators, quality content, and overall a great learning experience. So come, let's crack CA exams with Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform. Welcome to the session once again. Before we proceed, a brief introduction about the educator today. Hello, I'm Prathik Gupta. I am Bachelor of Commerce from Christ College, Bangalore University. I am an associate member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, an associate member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, and an associate member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, and also a law graduate from Karnataka State Law University. I'm currently a practicing chartered accountant and also a visiting faculty for CA subjects and an educator for CA students both offline and online. Prior to starting on my own, I worked with SR Bartley Boy and Associates, that is the Indian member firm of Ernst & Young Global, in the Audit and Assurance Department. Then I went on to work with Ernst & Young India in the Mergers and Acquisitions Department. And then finally I went on to work with the Manipal Group in Bangalore as the corporate controller of their Indian entity as well as the German subsidiary located in Frankfurt, Germany. It was only after I got back from Frankfurt, Germany that I decided to start something on my own, and that also gave me an opportunity to become an educator, which in turn has given me this opportunity to take this session for you young, bright and enthusiastic CA aspirants. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I hope you find this session useful. Anytime during the session, in case you have any questions, queries, observations or discussions to be made, please do not hesitate to drop in a line, and I will take up the matter for discussion or problem solving as the case may be as soon as possible. I'd also like to draw your attention to my name, which is Prathik. Okay, so it's Prathik with an H. Now, why I'm insisting and stressing on my name is because a lot of people misspell my name. They miss the H in my name, because of which they are unable to find my sessions on the YouTube channel of Unacademy as well as the Unacademy Learning App in the form of special classes, which is very beneficial for you for your preparation for your CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. Alright, so you can look me up with my name, which is Prathik Gupta, and you can find my many hours of sessions taken on YouTube as well as the Unacademy Learning App, which will help you in your preparations for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. Alright, let's proceed. Now, like I told you, the Unacademy helps you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination through 3 platforms: YouTube, Special Class and the Plus platform. Now, YouTube and special classes are absolutely free of cost, but they provide you immense amount of value and resources to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. Now, YouTube is what you're viewing right now. Okay, you just need to go to YouTube, type in Prathik Gupta, Prathik, and you'll see my hundreds of hours of sessions on YouTube, which are there exclusively for your benefit. Special classes are conducted on an app known as the Unacademy Learning App, more about which I will tell you in the following slides. Special classes are also absolutely free of cost, but again, they provide you an enormous amount of resources to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. And the Plus platform of Unacademy. The Plus platform of Unacademy is the premium platform of Unacademy. That is a payment-based subscription model and which provides various subscription packages for the various examinations. More about the subscription packages in the following slide. In this slide, I will tell you why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy as soon as possible. Okay, so the first reason why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy as soon as possible is because of the daily live classes that it conducts, where you get to chat with your educator, engage in discussions, ask your doubts and answer polls, all this while the class is going on. Yes, you heard it right. All this while the class is going on. You do not need to wait for the end of the class. You do not need to wait for a couple of days after the class, a couple of hours after the class, or the weekend after the class. Neither do you need to wait to fix up an appointment with your educator to clear your doubts. You can clear your doubts and have discussions with your educator right then and there on a real-time basis as and when your class is going on. It's as simple as you putting your hand up in a live classroom, and your educator will be happy to take up your questions and queries for problem solving and discussion as the case may be. The second reason why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the live tests and quizzes it conducts on a regular and periodic basis, which help to evaluate your preparation and also get a detailed analysis of your performance. Now, you might wonder, why is this evaluation of preparation and detailed analysis of your performance important? So let me tell you that whenever you're preparing for a professional examination, it becomes very important for you to take a stock of your preparations from time to time, so that you know where you stand in terms of your preparation, how much you're prepared, how much you need to prepare more, which areas you're well prepared, which areas you require more preparation, and which areas you might require external help. So basically, the Plus platform of Unacademy helps to break down your preparation into 3 areas: your strong areas, your not so strong areas, and your weak areas, so that whatever limited preparation time you have, you can spend that time accordingly on those three areas, in the sense more time on your weak areas, a little lesser time on your not so strong areas, and less time on your strong areas, until a time when your weak areas and not so strong areas eventually become your strong areas. Alright, so thereby the Plus platform of Unacademy ensures minimum wastage of your time and maximum utilization of your limited preparation time. The third reason why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the structured courses it provides. As all the courses are structured in line with your exam syllabus to help you best prepare for it, which simply means all the Plus courses on the Plus platform of Unacademy are prepared keeping in mind your exam syllabus, so that once you complete a Plus course on the Plus platform, you can rest assured that you have completed the syllabus of your examination without missing out on any important or major point. And lastly, and most importantly, why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the unlimited access it provides. That is, the one subscription gets you access to all the live and recorded courses to watch from the comfort of any of your devices, which simply means the one subscription to the Plus platform of Unacademy gets you access to all the live and recorded courses in the form of live and recorded special classes, live and recorded Plus courses, and all this you can watch from the comfort of any of your devices. That means your laptop, mobile, tablet or desktop, as the case may be, without any restrictions. You can also view these sessions 24/7 without any timing restrictions like 10 to 4, 10 to 5, 10 to 6. No, there is no restrictions like that whatsoever. Whenever you want to study, you can just pull out your mobile, log into the Unacademy Learning App and start your preparations. Also, all these live and recorded sessions are available to you at any location you want, whether you're at home, whether you're in college, you're in office, whether you're traveling from home to college or office, or from college home, college office to home, or you're waiting for someone for a meeting, or you're in your native place, or you're on a vacation and you simply want to study, you want to prepare, you refer something, you can just pull out your mobile phones, log into the Unacademy Learning App and start your preparations. Alright? Without any restrictions. All you require is an internet connection or a data plan, which all of us are blessed with today. So, keeping all these advantages among the many other advantages in mind, I strongly recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy in order to accelerate and enhance your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. Alright, please take about 30 seconds, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask me. Alright, let's proceed. Now, in the previous slide, you heard me say live and recorded special classes, live and recorded Plus courses. So you might be wondering, where are all these available? So they are available on an app known as the Unacademy Learning App. More about which I will tell you further. So for all of you who have downloaded the Unacademy Learning App and are using it, I thank you very much and I request your support in the future as well. For those of you who have not yet downloaded the Unacademy Learning App, I request you to go to the Play Store on your mobile phones, download and install the Unacademy Learning App on your mobile phones, put in your mobile number where you will get an OTP, and you can enter that OTP and register on the Unacademy Learning App. It is as simple as this, with no complicated or lengthy procedures. So you might be wondering, okay, I have downloaded and installed the Unacademy Learning App, I have put my mobile number, I have got the OTP, so what next? So let me tell you that the Unacademy Learning App gives you access to all the live and recorded special classes that Unacademy has to provide to you to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. And it also gives you access to all the live and recorded Plus courses that Unacademy has to offer to you in order to accelerate and enhance your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. Alright, so keeping these points in mind, I request you all to download and install the Unacademy Learning App on your mobile phones, register on it using your mobile number and OTP so that you can start making use of the enormous amount of resources that Unacademy has to provide to you in order to help you with your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. Also, I request you to spread the word around to help the people around you know about the Unacademy Learning App, help them download and install the Unacademy Learning App on their mobile phones, and also help them register on it using their mobile numbers and OTP so that they too can make use of the world of resources that Unacademy has to provide to them. Alright, please take about 30 seconds, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Alright, any questions, please ask. Okay, now like I told you, the Plus platform is the premium platform of Unacademy, that is a payment-based subscription model, and also which provides various subscription packages with various examinations. So accordingly, the CA Foundation and Intermediate subscription packages provided by the Plus platform of Unacademy are as follows. The packages provided are for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months. The 1 month package costs you rupees 3,500. The 3 months package costs you rupees 8,750. The 6 months package costs you rupees 14,000. The 12 months package costs you rupees 17,500. And the 24 months package costs you rupees 21,000. Now please remember, all these are the listed price of the packages. So before you make the payment for the package of your choice, please do not forget to use the code Prathik to get an instant discount of 10% on the above listed price. I repeat, please do not forget to use the code Prathik to get an instant discount of 10% on the above listed price. Prathik. So the after discount price of the various packages are as follows. The 1 month package will cost you rupees 3,150. The 3 month package will cost you rupees 7,875. The 6 months package will cost you rupees 12,600. The 12 months package will cost you rupees 15,750. And the 24 months package will cost you rupees 18,900. So you see, immediately you get a savings of 10% when you use my code Prathik. Now I personally will recommend you to start off with the 12 months or 24 months packages because of 2 reasons. Firstly, it is cost effective. If you compare the per month cost of the 12 months and 24 months package with the 1 month package cost, you will see that you're getting great cost savings almost immediately. And secondly, and most importantly, since the CA Foundation and Intermediate courses are provided to you in one package, that is a 12 months or 24 months package, a 12 months or 24 months package will be highly beneficial to you as it covers the entire duration of both your courses, that is the CA Foundation and the Intermediate, which normally take a minimum of about 12 months for you to study and clear. So if you're getting a package that is 12 months or 24 months that covers the entire duration of both your courses, that is CA Foundation and CA Intermediate in one package, okay, I think that is a very good deal. But having said this, you're free to choose the package of your choice. But before you make the payment for the package of your choice, please do not forget to use the code Prathik to get an instant discount of 10% on the above listed price. You can also make use of the no cost EMI options available for the 6 months, 12 months and 24 months packages, just in case you do not wish to make the entire payment at one shot. The payment options available to you are internet banking, debit card and credit card, and also all the coins that you've accumulated by watching the special classes can be redeemed while making the payment for the Plus course. So keeping all these advantages, packages and discounts and offers in mind, and also the advantages I told you in the previous slides in mind, I strongly recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy in order to accelerate and enhance your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. Alright, please take about a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Alright, Like I told you, the Unacademy Learning App gives you access to all the live and recorded special classes. Here are the snapshots of few of the many special classes that I have conducted on the Unacademy Learning App and which will be very helpful to you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. The special classes on revision test papers, the Sale of Goods Act, the Indian Contracts Act, the Companies Act, Fundamentals of Accounting, Retirement of Partner, Death of Partner, Admission of Partner, Valuation of Inventories, Revision of Final Accounts of Non-Manufacturing Entities, Revision of Sale of Goods on approval or return basis, and many more. So I request you to log into the Unacademy Learning App, go to my profile, Prathik Gupta, Prathik, and start making use of the numerous amount of resources that Unacademy has to provide to you to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. Alright, please take about 30 seconds, go through this, and then we proceed. Okay, now here are the links to few of the many special classes that I have conducted on the Unacademy Learning App. You can either click on these links or copy and paste these links on your browser to take you directly to the special class on the Unacademy Learning App. The sessions are on Indian Contracts Act, Sale of Goods Act, the Indian Partnership Act, the Limited Liability Partnership Act, the Companies Act, Basics of Communication, Accounting Concepts, and Revision Test Papers, among many other sessions. So again, I request you to log into the Unacademy Learning App, go to my profile and go through the numerous amount of sessions and resources that I have provided there for the benefit of the CA Foundation and Intermediate students. And you can also look me up on the YouTube channel of Unacademy as Prathik Gupta, Prathik, and find the many sessions that I've taken on the YouTube channel as well. That will help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. Alright, please take 30 seconds, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask me. Okay, and here is the schedule for the next 1 week where I will be covering a major part of business and commercial knowledge for CA Foundation. Okay, starting today, that is 11 Jan to 16 Jan. Today my session is from 11 to 1, and then again another session from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And from tomorrow onwards till the next Saturday, it's at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. where we will be covering these various topics. So I request all of you to be there, and as we will be covering the entire syllabus of business and commercial knowledge for CA Foundation, and also discussing the revision test papers and the questions and the MCQs on them. So I request all of you to join these sessions every day except today, from tomorrow onwards at 7 p.m. today, which is from 11 to 1 p.m. which is going on right now, and 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the evening today. After that, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Covering the various topics. So today, at the moment, we are doing this. Today evening 5 to 7 we'll do this, and then tomorrow onwards from 7 to 9 we will be doing this. Alright? Okay, please take about 30 seconds, go through this, and then we proceed. Alright, let's proceed. Okay, let's start off with introduction to business and commercial knowledge. Okay, now this is a CA Foundation subject, and it basically deals about business in general and commercial knowledge, which you need to know while you're dealing with businesses or carrying out your own businesses. You need to know all this. Okay, so it's a relatively relaxed subject, so please pay attention to it. It's fun, and all right, shall we proceed? All right, let's start off with the introduction to business and commercial knowledge. Okay, so the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to read out the slides, explain it to you, then give you some time to understand it, and then we will continue. Okay, humans engage themselves alternatively between work and life. We work to earn an income. We spend and also save the income for the sustenance of self and family. In this process, we regularly engage in numerous transactions and exchange our income for buying various goods and services. Being social and socially aware, we also live a family life and engage in various social activities. In this chapter, we will understand human activities while focusing on what business means as a crucial part of our daily life and the multiple domains of business and commercial knowledge. So please remember, as in everyday life, we have a personal time, we have our business time as well. Where we work to earn money. Out of that money we've earned, we spend a little, we save a little, so that in future we can use it for contingencies or unforeseen events. So that is the process that goes on when everyone does it. Okay, in this process we regularly engage in numerous transactions, that is your business transactions, and exchange our income for buying various goods and services. Obviously, now from where will you buy something? You will buy something only when you have an income, right? If you don't have an income, you will not be able to buy it. So being social and socially aware, we also live a family life and engage in various social activities. So here we will understand human activities while focusing on what business means as a crucial part of our daily life and what multiple domains of business and commercial knowledge. In today's world, both earning of income as well as its spending has increasingly become dependent on business and commerce. To begin with, let's understand the business and commerce as comprising of an array of activities of production, distribution. Okay, so please remember, business and commerce are two terms that are interchangeably used. Okay, and to a large extent, they are quite similar with some small minor differences, as comprising of an array of activities for production, distribution and exchange, buying and selling of goods and services. Now, whether we work as employees or freelancers or as entrepreneurs, our world of work is made of business organizations. And even if we do not work for a business organization, much of our spending takes place buying various goods and services that have been produced or provided by business organizations. In all probability, most of the goods that we buy, we do not buy these straight from the producer, but indirectly from second, third, or even later intermediary sellers. So see, what is the definition you see here? Now, business, the term business and commerce, you see a lot of things. You see production, you see manufacturing, you see services, you see buying and selling of goods, trading. So all these things comprise of the term business and commerce. So while we are doing our business activities in order to earn our income, to live a livelihood, we carry out a lot of activities, that is buying various goods and services that have been produced or provided by business organizations. In all probability, most of the goods that we buy, we do not buy straight from the producer, right? See now, your mobile phones and whatever, we do not buy it right from the factory or the manufacturer, right? From the manufacturer, it goes to the distributor, from the distributor to the wholesaler to the retailer, and then from the retailer, we buy it. So it goes through many channels. So all of these channels also comprise the business and commerce platform, okay? But indirectly from second, third, or even intermediary or reseller. So this is what the chain of business transactions in simple terms mean. Please take about 2 or 3 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask me. We'll go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Yeah, take about a minute more. Okay, now let's look at quickly look at the domains of business and commercial knowledge, BCK as we call it. Oxford Online Dictionary defines the term domain as specified sphere of knowledge. Domain in simpler terms means a subject. Following that, the sphere of knowledge, the subject about business and commerce is vast, eclectic, and ever evolving and expanding. So please remember, business is a very dynamic environment. It is never constant. It is constantly changing. And change is the main crux of a business environment. Okay, and domain means similar term means specified sphere of knowledge. So, like for example, a finance domain, a legal domain, accounting domain, service domain. So, all these are grouping of the similar kind of activities. BCK is vast. Now, business and commercial knowledge is vast. The universe of business is vast. Take, for example, the range of business activities. It includes manufacturing, trading, and all sorts of services. Think about any of these activities. Countless instances will come to mind. Take domestic trade and within it the retail trade. Now, door-to-door direct sellers, street vendors, weekly hearts or bazaars, neighborhood shops, marketplaces, malls, company chain stores, and online retail, e-tail, etc. all comprise of retail trade. Thus, to know about retail trade, one needs to be aware of the various forms. Further, one needs to know the functions that the retailers perform. Okay, so like I told you in the previous slide, the term business and commerce includes manufacturer, producer, service provider, wholesaler, distributor, retailers, and everything, and then the end customer. Now, as a business person, you need to know what are the rights and what are the functions of a retailers, because that's where you will be mostly the retailers will be where will be doing the major amount of business and the margins. Okay, so today we have many forms of businesses. What are the forms of businesses? Door-to-door direct sellers, street vendors, weekly hearts or bazaars, neighborhood shops, marketplaces, malls, company chain stores, and online retail, e-tail, etc. all comprise of retail trade. Thus, to know about retail trade, one needs to be aware of its various forms. Further, one needs to know the functions that the retailers perform. Please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Come on, take another minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Hi, Stealth Seeker. What's your name? I do have Plus courses. Yes, I've taken a lot of Plus courses on the Plus platform. Maybe you'd like to have a look at them. Yes? Okay. Let me know once you're done, please. Are we done? Any questions? Yes, tell me. Any questions? Stealth Seeker. Interesting name. Any questions? Please ask me. Alright, there are a lot of Plus courses and a lot of special classes, Stealth Seeker. Please do watch them. Okay, I hope you find them useful. When is your attempt, CA Foundation? Okay, now let's look at each of these individual points. Okay, now first one was BCK is vast. The next one is BCK is eclectic. That means multidisciplinary. BCK, that is business and commercial knowledge, is eclectic. That is, it derives from various disciplines. That is marketing, accounting, finance, operations, human behavior, psychology, sociology, laws, economics, ethics, etc. Business is not just about selling a product or service. It includes various fields of study within itself. Understanding human behavior, finance, economics, world economy, legal terms, law of various countries, etc. Each discipline has a vocabulary of its own and thus contributes towards BCK vocabulary. Further, the BCK adapts the vocabulary of these diverse fields like military and even unrelated fields. So this simply means, alright, okay, Stealth Seeker, good luck. Let me know after you watch my Plus courses. Give me a feedback. Okay? Okay? So BCK is eclectic, means multidisciplinary. Please remember, business and commercial knowledge, like it says business and commercial knowledge, it will not be right if you have just knowledge about one domain. The BCK contains of various domains, that is marketing, accounting, finance, operations, human behavior, psychology, sociology, laws, economics, ethics, etc. and various other topics. Okay, so we need to have an understanding of all these domains and areas to get a full understanding of BCK, that is business and commercial knowledge. Understanding human behavior, finance, economics, world economy, legal terms, laws of various countries, etc. Each discipline has a vocabulary of its own and thus contributes towards BCK vocabulary. That means each of these domains. Hi Avinash, how are you? No Avinash? I mean, yes, about 40 minutes late, but it's okay. We have just started a little while earlier. Okay? Good morning. Okay? So, each of these domains has different vocabulary, and that's what constitutes the entire business and commercial knowledge. Further, the BCK adapts the vocabulary of these diverse fields like military and even unrelated fields as biology. So basically, as much as the BCK can adapt and derive, it adapts terminologies and matters from different disciplines. Okay, so BCK is ever evolving and expanding. Like I told you, it's constantly changing. BCK domains are ever evolving and expanding. For example, information and communication technology has introduced several terms in the lexicon of BCK, that is example 24/7, B2B, B2C, BPO, etc. So see, all these are terminologies that have derived or that have evolved from the BCK environment. Now, what is the meaning of 24/7? 24/7 means anything is something that is open for 24 hours, 7 days a week. That means every day, any time. B2B means business to business, B2C means business to customers, and BPO means back processing office. So all these are terminologies or abbreviations that have come on from the business and commercial knowledge domain. An important aspect of this evolution is the decline and demise of old businesses and old ways of doing business, and the emergence of new businesses and newer ways of doing the business. Okay, so another important constituent of BCK, from now on, I'll try and say business and commercial knowledge as BCK. So another important part of BCK is a lot of old terminologies and old methods of doing businesses have been done away with and replaced by new and improved methods and processes of doing businesses. That also makes the BCK environment very important. Okay, these changes may be aided or impeded by changes in the technology, society, economy, etc., collectively referred to as business environment. New products and services and even ways of doing businesses are changing every single day. Latest innovations like e-commerce, social media, artificial intelligence have changed the way how business is done around the globe. In a fast revolving and expanding sphere of knowledge, the rate of knowledge obsolescence, outdatedness is high. Thus, we need to stay updated and develop the capacity or capability to learn, unlearn and relearn at a fast pace. So please remember, this is an important term. BCK is all about learning, unlearning and relearning at a very fast pace, because the business environment is constantly and rapidly changing and we need to keep ourselves up to date with what is happening. Alright, please take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Take about 2 minutes. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask me. Carefully go through this. Any questions, please ask. All right, let me know once you're done. Okay, just about 30 seconds more and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask me. Okay, the importance of BCK for chartered accountants. Okay, the chartered accountants are the custodians of the nation's resources. They are responsible for putting in place credible system of truthful and fair accounting and reporting of the society's resources, their deployment and utilization. Business and commercial sector comprises a large share of their work arena. In this context, BCK is likely to make them more aware and responsive. Each business has its own peculiarities and associated variations in notions of product, inventory, revenue, profit. For example, a fast-moving consumer goods FMCG business pertains to manufacture, distribution, and sale of large variety of staples, groceries, bakery, confectionaries, etc. Personal care and home care products such as soap, detergents, toiletries, and cosmetics, etc. The chartered accountant shall be able to conduct the audit diligently, take decisions, strategize, make plans and budgets, and work closely with various business teams. Only when they understand the nuances of the businesses, they can add value to their work. So now again, even as chartered accountants, now you all are aspiring chartered accountants, and for you, you need to know the business and commercial knowledge, because you need to know the various forms of business, the various activities involved in each form of business, what are the various nuances. Nuances means the complexities involved in each kind of business, and that will help you in more diligently doing your audits and your other professional assignments. Okay, like for example, each business has its own peculiarities and associated variations in notions of product, inventory, revenue, profit, etc. For example, a fast-moving consumer goods FMCG business pertains to manufacture, distribution, and sale of a large variety of staples, grocery, bakery, confectionaries, etc. Personal care and home care products such as soaps and detergents, toiletries, and cosmetics, etc. Okay, so like similarly, if this is FMCG, automobile industry will have a separate process. IT sector will have a separate process. So all these things you need to know. That is what the business and commercial knowledge is important for a chartered accountant, as chartered accountants shall be able to conduct the audit diligently, take decisions, strategize, make plans and budgets, and work closely with various business teams. Only when they understand the nuances of the business, they can add value to their work. Okay, please take about a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Take a minute more, please go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask. Let me know once you're done, please. All right, are we done? Now, human activities, economic and non-economic, our waking lives are all about activities. Waking life means the minute we get up. From the time we get up to the time we go to sleep, it's all about activities. Many activities we engage in are purposeful. Usually we dichotomize these activities as work and play. Dichotomize means we bifurcate these activities as work or play. These days, it is more common for adults to talk about work and life, the latter implying family time, time for one's hobbies, causes, etc., and strive towards balancing the two, work-life balance. We all work to earn a living. All that we do to earn a living comprises economic activities. Economic activities is all the activities which we do to earn an economic resource. The rest all activities are referred to as non-economic activities. Interestingly, while the economic activities are distinguishable merely by the presence of a livelihood motive. Livelihood motive means earning. A variety of motives are attributed to non-economic activities, that is concern for fellow beings, affection and love for the family, passion about some hobby or cause such as animal rights, forest, nature, conservation, underprivilege, etc. So economic activities are all those activities that a person does to gain his livelihood, and non-economic activities comprises all the other activities which are other, more beyond earning his livelihood, like concern for fellow beings, affection and love for family, passion about some hobby or cause such as animal rights, forest, nature, conservation, underprivileged youth, etc. Okay, so this is about the economic and non-economic human activities. Briefly, take 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask me. Please take a minute more. Any questions, please ask me. All right, any questions, please ask me. Okay, now distinguishing characters of economic activities. Okay, let's go a little further in detail. Economic activities are income generating activities. Like we saw, it's for the livelihood, right? So it's all income generating. One may earn a livelihood in several ways: manufacturing, reselling, employment, providing any professional services, etc. Income earned by rendering personal time, physical and psychic energy, in other words, through one's sweat and intellect, is called earning income. And the income earned by letting out one's property is known as property income. Okay, so basically, if any income is earned by putting out your sweat and toil and efforts, that is known as income. And if it is any income is earned from any property, rental or anything, then that is known as property income. In economics, individuals comprised as possessors of one or more of factors of production, that is labor, land, capital, and entrepreneurship. The corresponding income characterizations in exchange of or compensation for other factors are wages and salaries, rent, interest, and profit. It is not necessary that all these incomes may be earned in the form of money only. These may be earned in kind too. For example, a landowner may compensate the tiller of the land in the form of food grains. The nomadic pastors who brought their herds to graze the stubs left after the harvest were often paid in the form of food grains. How much can we earn from each factor? The factors earn according to their contribution to the production. In other words, income is generated in the process of production. So these are basically in brief about the income generating activities. All income generating activities are known as economic activities. All the income that is earned, all the activities that are through sweat and toil and efforts and other things are known as income. If any income is earned through a property, it is known as a property income. Okay, and basically all individuals comprise as possessors of one or more factors of production. That is your labor, land, capital, and entrepreneurship. Now, these are your factors of production, right? Your labor, land, capital, and entrepreneurship. The corresponding income characteristics in exchange of or compensation for their factor services are wages, salaries, and rent, interest, and profit. It is not necessary that all the income may be earned in the form of money only. So, income can also be earned in the form of kind, not exactly in the money. Like there could be a barter system. You put in some efforts and in return you get some food. And that's not money, right? But that's food. So, that could also be termed as income. Please take 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions? Please ask me. Any questions? Please ask. Any questions? Please ask me. Take about a minute more. Any questions? Please ask. Are we done? Okay. Economic activities are productive. First one was economic activities are income producing activities. Next is economic activities are productive. We can transform various raw materials into useful products and sell them for an income. Further, we can teach skills we are good at to other people in exchange of money. Production essentially is the process of creation of need satisfying goods and services. As a corollary, earning a livelihood implies participation in the process of production. Production here refers to both goods and services. When the early man set out hunting and animals and gathering the fruit and firewood, he engaged in productive activities. Farming is productive too. Practice of the crafts, pottery, textiles is an instance of productive activities. Generation of electricity, manufacture of automobiles, and writing of software programs are all instances of productive activities. Okay, so like we read here, economic activities are all productive. It means transforming of raw materials into important finished goods to satisfy someone's needs. Further, we can teach. So if a person is good at something, good at a language, a foreign language, he can teach that foreign language to someone else in return for the money. That is also an economic activity. Production essentially is the process of creation of need satisfying goods and services. So whenever there is a need for any goods or services and those goods and services are satisfied, the need for them is satisfied, then production is said to have been done. Production here refers to both goods and services. When the early man set out to hunting and animals and gathering the fruit and firewood, he engaged in productive activities. Farming is productive too. Practice of the crafts, pottery, textiles is an instance of productive activities. Generation of electricity, manufacture of automobiles, and writing of software programs are all instances of productive activities. Alright, please take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Are we done? Okay, in case we're done, it's been about 1 hour of class. Let's take a break for about 5 to 7 minutes. We will continue in about 5 to 7 minutes. Take a break. Take a break for about 5 to 7 minutes. We will continue. Alright, take a break. Let's take a break for 5 minutes and then come back. Right, 3 or 4 minutes more for the break to get over and then come back. Right, 2 more minutes, come back then. We're in the middle of a small break. Another minute. Come on, everyone come back. Just about 30 seconds remaining. Okay, let's start off. Teaching, medicine, law, accountancy are all productive activities. Production may be done either for subsistence, that is self-consumption, or for market. Production represents the supply side of economics, more so if it is for selling. Here, its scope is broadened not only to include the place where it takes place, but also the entire range of activities and occupations devoted to delivering the products, services produced to the market, transport, warehouse, intermediaries, wholesalers, dealers, etc., and so on. Okay, so these are all parts of production as well. Even consumption is an economic activity. Consumption represents the demand side of economics. So production represents the supply side of economics, whereas consumption represents the demand side of economics. That is the goods and services on which the people will spend their income. Production is organized in response to the demand. Different products compete for buyers' attention and spending. In fact, every unit of demand is like a vote in favor of a product and as a symbol to its producer. An economic activity might produce a product or services, but it is not complete until it can earn an income. So there's no point in producing goods and keeping it in your warehouse. The economic activity is complete only when the goods that are produced and kept in the warehouse are actually sold and can earn an income. Thus, feeling or exchanging it for money or in kind for consumption of the produce is equally important. Thus, therefore, economic activity includes consumption as well. So please remember, no economic activity is complete, is not complete without consumption. Okay, now production is the supply side of economics, whereas consumption. G. Rashmi, these are for the May classes, yes. Alright, so economic activity is not complete without consumption. So there has to be consumption. Consumption represents the demand side of economics, whereas production represents the supply side of economics. So demand and supply have to match, only then an economic activity is said to be complete. Alright, please take 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask me. Hmm. 30 seconds more. Any questions, please ask. Okay, let's proceed. Savings, investment, and wealth. We just understood the production of goods and services as an economic activity generates income. Thus, income is actually the amount that people spend to buy those goods and services. The unspent income of people comprises their savings. The financial sector as bank, non-banking financial companies, mutual fund, dealers in stock markets, real estate, goods, etc. are the channels through which savings are converted into investments and the wealth. The corporate sector and the government borrow these savings via shares, debentures, bonds, etc. and invest these into creating and operating civil, military and business infrastructure and other productive pursuits for the country. Thus, in all, economic activities add to savings, investment and wealth in the country. Okay, so like whenever we earn some amount, whatever we spend is known as economic activity, and whatever we save is the amount of savings. Okay, the savings could be in the form of banks, mutual fund, dealers in stock exchange, real estate, gold, etc. So therefore, thus all in all, economic activities add to savings, investments and wealth in the economy. Please take 30 seconds, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute. Any questions, please ask. Okay, now business as an economic activity. Let's go a little deeper. We have seen that market-oriented production, other than production for self-consumption, represents supply side of economics. It is common to refer to shift from subsistence-driven production towards market-driven production as commercialization of production or production on a commercial scale. We have also seen that for production to occur at a commercial scale, a wide array of interconnected activities need to be put into place. Linking production supply side with consumption side can be achieved. With this background, we can now attempt a three-tier definition of business. So please remember, production is the supply side, consumption is the demand side, and both of them need to come together in order to be constituted as a business and a profitable economic activity. So with the production and the consumption demand side can be achieved with this background, we can now attempt a three-tier definition of business. Okay, take 30 seconds, go through this, then we proceed quickly. Come on, 30 seconds more. All right, let's proceed. From the broader perspective, businesses may be defined as an economic activity comprising the entire spectrum of activities pertaining to production, distribution, and trading and exchange of goods and services. As such, it refers to the aggregate of all the businesses and functions related to businesses of all sizes, industry, construction, and manufacturing, trading or services, enterprises, state-owned, public sector or private enterprises, proprietary or corporate sector enterprises, micro, small, medium or large enterprises, domestic or multinational enterprises. We will take up a brief discussion of these terms later in the chapter. It is usual to classify businesses into industry, trade and commerce, wherein commerce includes all the industry, trade related services or auxiliaries, aids to trade such as banking, general insurance, transport, warehousing, etc. Okay, so let's break it up. From the broader perspective, business may be defined as economic activity comprising the entire spectrum of activities pertaining to production, distribution, and trading of goods and services. Okay. Now, businesses may be defined as an economic activity comprising the entire spectrum of activities, that is production, distribution and trading is all constituted under business. As such, it refers to the aggregate of all businesses and functions related to businesses of all size. That means industry, construction and manufacturing, trading industry, service industry, state-owned, public sector or private enterprises, proprietary or corporate sector enterprises, micro, small, medium or large enterprises, domestic or multinational enterprises. We will take up this thing. It is usual to classify businesses into industry, trade and commerce, wherein commerce includes all the industry, trade-related services or auxiliaries, aids to trade such as banking, general insurance, transport and warehousing. All these are included into businesses. Please take 2 minutes. Go through this. Any questions? Please ask me. Any questions? Please ask. Take a minute more. Any questions? Please ask. Come on, take another minute. Any questions? Please ask. Any questions? Please ask me. Okay, here a question arises. Is agriculture an industry and hence a business? Its answer is it depends. In India, much of the agriculture is subsistence, that is consumption. Moreover, agricultural income under Income Tax Act is characterized separately from income from business or profession and is exempt from tax. Thus, for our purpose, agriculture does not comprise industry and hence business. However, the industries where agriculture produces processed like pulses, spice, wheat, flour, processed oils, etc., and whose key material ingredient is agricultural produce to comprise an industry. For example, the extraction of edible oil from rice bran, mustard, coconut, soybean represents agro-based industries. From the medium perspective, businesses refers to a particular type of activity or industry such as retail business, real estate business, and IT business, iron and steel industry, transport businesses. Thus, a firm may introduce itself as follows: we are a food processing unit. Okay. So now the question here is whether agriculture is considered as a business or not. Please remember, it depends. In India, agriculture is basically for consumption. So if it is for consumption, it is not considered as business. But if agricultural produce is used for further processing of making spices, pulses, wheat flour, processed oils, etc., then that is definitely considered as a business. And whose key material ingredient is agricultural produce do comprise an industry. For example, the extraction of edible oil from rice bran, mustard, coconut, soybean, etc. represents agro-based industries. Okay, and then based on this, there are many other industries that we are talking about. Okay, so take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Okay, distinguishing characteristics of business vis-a-vis the other economic occupation. Whilst business as an economic occupation is vastly diverse, yet only a small portion of the population, more so urban educated population, engages in it. For example, of all of you pursuing chartered accountancy, only a small percentage is going to start a business. Since CA is a professional qualification, most likely you are going to participate as an independent professional or would take up a paid employment somewhere. We have thus introduced two other distinct occupations, that is employment and profession. Let us understand these two forms of occupations and we shall discuss the characteristics and distinction. So now we have three entities: businesses, employment, profession. Okay? Alright. So that's what we're going to discuss further. Now, employment. Let's take one by one. Employment. Employment is a contract of service between the employee and the employer. The contract elaborates job description and the periodic compensation known as wages and salaries. The term wages usually denotes factory workers, salary denotes office staff and managers. Wages means anyone who's paid on a per day basis or a per hour basis or per piece basis, whereas salary normally is for the office staff, managers, etc., who are paid on a fortnightly or monthly basis. One has to undergo a detailed process of recruitment and selection for one's engagement and employment. Usually, minimum qualifications, educational, technical, professional, and prior work experience are prescribed to take up an employment. Freshers may be initially recruited as interns and required to undergo training, and one is expected to perform as per the terms of employment and the performance targets assigned to them from time to time. There is a minimum assured income, tenure, certainty, and reasonable opportunities for career progression via promotions. Now, what you're talking about is employment now, which simply means jobs, where we need to go through a process of recruitment and selection and this thing, and then if we fulfill the recruitment and selection criteria, then we are taken up for job, and then the further processing happens. Freshers may be initially recruited as interns and are required to undergo training, and one is expected to perform as per the terms of employment and the performance targets assigned to them from time to time. There is a minimum assured income, tenure, certainty, and reasonable opportunities for career progression via promotions. Alright, this is about employment. Please take a minute, go through this. Please take a minute. Any questions, please ask me. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Okay, now let's talk about profession. Profession is rendering of services of a specialized nature, necessitating prescribed qualifications for a fee under a certificate of practice from an established certification, accreditation, examination and assessment body that also imposes a code of conduct. Professions can be pursued as independent practice or under a contract of employment too. Accountancy, architecture, designing, engineering, law, medicine, and increasingly even management are assuming the attributes of a profession. Okay, so now profession is like your CA profession as well. Profession is rendering of services of specialized nature. Chartered accountants provide specialized services necessitating prescribed qualifications. You need to be a chartered accountant for a fee under a certificate of practice. To practice as a chartered accountant, you require a certificate of practice from an established certification, accreditation, examination and assessment body, that is your ICAI, that also imposes a code of conduct. There is also a code of conduct of the ICAI. Professions can be pursued as independent practice or under a contract of employment too. Accountancy, architecture, design, engineering, law, medicine, and increasingly even management are assuming the attributes of profession. So here are a few examples of profession. The word profession or professional in common parlance is used to distinguish from one's amateurish, substandard performance or practice as a part-time hobby. Professionalism is often associated with perfectionism. Historically, however, professions have emerged in pursuit of nobility, demonstrated highest level of integrity and ethics, and hence have been held in very high esteem and social status, respect. Chartered accountants, for example, represent a noble profession for ensuring truthfulness and fairness in the conduct of business, and thus have been instrumental in ensuring its trustworthiness of the entire economic system. The logo of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is suggestive of the vigilance expected from its members, that is the Chartered Accountants. Okay, so this slide talks about professionals. Please take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Take 2 minutes. Any questions, please ask. Okay, the distinguishing characteristic of business. Job creator, not a job seeker. So the first differentiating characteristic of businesses is that business is a job creator, not a job seeker. Business as an institution is a source of sustenance directly to the business owners and employees and indirectly to all those who have derive opportunities from it. This is a unique characteristics of business that separates it from other occupations. Yes, professionals in practice may also generate some employment, but certainly not in numbers that business is capable of generating. So the first major difference between business and professionals and employment is that business is a employment generating. That means a job creator, not a job seeker. Provides momentum to economic growth and development. The second difference is provides momentum to economic growth and development. What is economic growth? It is persistent increase in the country's gross domestic product. What is GDP? It is the value of all the final goods and service produced in a country during a particular period. Business output comprehensively contributes towards the GDP and thus the economic growth. How is economic growth distinguishable from economic development? Whereas growth merely implies increase in GDP numbers, economic development implies diversification of an economy's capabilities and improvement in the quality of lives of its people. Business, through research and development, education and training and development of employees, and by sheer guts and courage of experimenting and innovation, brings about economic development. In fact, it is pertinent now to introduce the term entrepreneur here. In common parlance, the term business person and entrepreneur are synonymous. Okay, so here we see that business is different from profession as well as employment. First, in terms of job creator, not a job seeker, and second is it provides momentum to economic growth and development. Please take 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask me. Hi Siddhant, how are you? Welcome. Okay, any questions? Please ask me. Take about a minute more, go through this. Any questions? Please ask. Okay. Investment intensive. Starting a business requires a sizable amount of funds, accommodation, plant and machinery, inventories. In accounting, investment requirements are estimated as sum of fixed assets and net current assets. Indeed, investments are necessary for technological upgradation, modernization, and expansion. However, size of investment usually varies with the scale of business. That is why in India, micro, small, medium, and large enterprises are defined with respect to size of investment. More specifically, investment in plant and machinery for manufacturing enterprises and investment in equipment for service enterprises. It is believed that it is practically true that the lack of investable funds or capital is a strong barrier to start a business. Thus, any form of business requires investment and therefore investment intensive. So, we are continuing with the difference between businesses, employment, and profession. So, unlike employment and profession, businesses are investment intensive. That means you require huge investment in plant and machinery and equipments, and that is also a sort of a discouraging element which does not allow a lot of people to enter into business because there is a large capital required for the business. Okay, please take 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Please take another minute. Any questions, please ask. Come on, any questions, please ask me. Okay, gestation and uncertainties, that's the next difference. Investment takes time to fructify, or investment takes time to bring in profits, and it is uncertain whether it will yield the returns as expected or not. For example, it will take time to construct and operate a hotel before it is opened for occupancy, and it is uncertain if all the rooms will be occupied all the time. In fact, it is also uncertain if the occupancy ratio, that is the room nights occupied divided by room nights capacity, would be adequate. In economics and finance, one distinguishes between risk and uncertainty. Risk can be calculated in advance, uncertainty cannot. Moreover, risk is a characteristic of uncertainty itself. Businesses take time to flourish, and it is uncertain whether it would actually bring in profits. This characteristic specifically distinguishes it from all kinds of occupations. So this is another difference between employment, profession, and business, that even though business is investment centric, it is no guarantee that it will bring you the desired results. It is uncertain, okay? While risks can be reasonably measured, uncertainty cannot. So until and unless a business starts off, you cannot say with certainty whether it will give you the desired results or not. Okay, please take about a minute, go through this. Any question, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute. Any questions, please ask me. Now we're going through the difference between employment, profession, and business. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Systematic, organized, efficiency-oriented activities. Business is not a random, stray, unorganized, and occasional activity. It is a consciously created system of production of both goods and services. Thus, firm infrastructure needs to be in place. Supply chain of materials need to be developed. These materials need to be processed or transformed. Product need to be marketed and sold. Payments need to be collected, etc. All these tasks have to be divided into specialized functions. Means of coordination need to be devised so that the business is able to deliver the promised products and services on a day-to-day basis efficiently, on time, of consistent quality, preceding performance expectations. So like it said, business is not a one-time activity, but it is a continuous bit of activities all grouped together and which should be done together. So thus the firm infrastructure needs to be in place, that is supply chain of materials needs to be developed. These materials need to be processed or transformed. Products need to be marketed and sold. Payments need to be collected. All these tasks have to be divided into specialized functions. Means of coordination need to be devised so that the business is able to deliver the promised products and services on a day-to-day basis efficiently, on time, of consistent quality and exceeding performance expectations. All right, please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Let me know once you're done. Okay, the next difference is object-oriented, purposeful. Profit is said to be the defining motives behind business. In economics, objective of the firm is set out as maximization of profits. Profits are the income of business, just as wages and salaries are of labor. Rent is the income from land, and interest is the income from investment. It is the residue according to the business owners after all factors of production. That means all the expenses have been taken care of. What are profits for? These are for organizing production, undertaking risks, and bearing uncertainty. Let's reflect deeper on the purpose of business. We have seen above that business as an institution, and more so through its entrepreneurial endeavors, brings about a qualitative change called development. We have seen that entrepreneurial business persons are efficiency seekers, problem solvers, and innovators. These intangible aspects of business's performance impart deeper meaning of business and its purpose. So here it simply means profit is the expectation from business, just like rental is the income from land and interest is the income from investment. Similarly, business profits is the expectations from business, that is maximization of profits after deducting all the expenses and everything, whatever comes into a business person's hands, that is known as a profit. Okay, so it's objective oriented, purposeful. Please take about a minute, go through this. Any question, please ask me. Just give me a second, I'll get some water. Right, take about a minute more. Okay, now let's quickly go through the forms of business organizations. Okay, while elaborating the business as an economic activity, we have seen that forms of businesses may be discussed on a variety of criteria. For example, on the basis of nature of activity undertaken, a business may be engaged in industry, trade, or other services. Under the basis of size and scale of the activity undertaken, businesses may be classified as micro, small, medium, and large. Generally, however, whenever we refer to the forms of business organization, the attention is drawn to the types of business, private business ownership. Before we take up a brief discussion on the various forms of business ownership, it is important to take note of the following points about business ownership. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the different kinds of business ownership, and there are various criteria or based on which the differentiation is made. It could be proprietorship, partnership, private limited, public limited, trust, a government company, foreign company, whatever. Based on the requirements and the objectives, the bifurcation is made. Okay, so let's have a look at the important parts about business ownership. So the first important point, business ownership is a bundle of rights. Ownership is a bundle of rights. These rights accrue because the person has invested money in it. First such right is the titular exclusiveness. If you own a book, no one else can claim its ownership. Others may own the respective copies. So if you get a copyright, no one else can copy that book. You may use it. That is, derive benefit from it. You may also lend it or sell it or donate it at your will. Likewise, business ownership occurs by investing of capital. Profits earned belong to the owners. However, if there are losses, these are also to be incurred by the owner. So basically, business means profits as well as losses. Business owners also have a right to run the business that is managed and operated on a day-to-day basis. However, in certain forms of business ownership can be separated from management. An important right associated with business ownership is the right to dispose of and transfer the ownership of business. It also includes transfer of ownership by succession after the owner's death. Such a succession occurs smoothly when the person acts prudently and divides the ownership in business among the successors by registered will. So another important feature of business is the business can be transferred from one person to another, and in case the owner of the business dies, it can be also transferred by succession from one person to another. Okay? Yeah. Please take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Take 2 minutes. Any questions, please ask. All right, any questions? Please ask me. Any questions? Please ask. Okay. Second one, business may be owned singly or jointly. A business may be owned singly as a sole proprietorship concern, else it may be organized as a partnership or even as a large collective known as a corporate. When owned singly, if all the profits belong to a single owner, so do the losses. Shared ownership by pooling of capital will facilitate undertaking large projects. However, there is a prudential reason for shared ownership too, and that is for sharing of risks. Okay, so if a business can be singly owned or jointly, if it's singly owned, it could be a proprietorship business. So if it's a proprietorship business, the profits and the losses are that of the proprietor. Whereas in case of jointly, it means two or more people can come together, pool in capital, so that the business can carry on a large scale. However, there is a division or sharing of risks as well. Okay. Joint family business, a concept legally covered on the Hindu Undivided Family Act in India, views businesses as a family property and vests its ownership among the members of the family. Here, the sharing of ownership is guided not as much by possibility of raising large sums of capital or diffusion of risks, business risks, that is guided by the consideration of equitable distribution of ownership rights among family members. So there is also a family kind of business which is known as a Hindu Undivided Family, where every male person born into that business becomes automatically a part of the business. Please take 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Thirty seconds more. Okay. Businesses may be organized as a proprietorship or a corporate concern. In proprietorship concerns, business owners actively participate in the day-to-day working of the enterprise, known as owner-managers. Business persons, entrepreneurs, are not passive providers of investment capital alone. Business thus automatically becomes subservient or to the self-interest of its owners. Obviously, such a situation would be more feasible when there are 4 or 5 co-owners and the nature of size of business is such that it can draw on their competencies and capabilities. Let us think of businesses where number of persons holding a share in the capital of an enterprise is large, in hundreds, thousands, and hundreds of thousands, who are also geographically dispersed. In such cases, a separation of ownership from management would be inevitable. Okay, so now again, businesses may be organized as proprietary or as a corporate concern as well. Okay, a proprietary concern would be a one-man person, and a corporate concern may be a company. All right. Okay, please take about a minute, go through this. Okay. Okay, it's been 2 hours now. Let's take a break for 5 minutes and then let's continue. Okay? Let's continue in 5 minutes. All right, take a break, 2 or 3 minutes more, and then we continue. Take 2 more minutes, and then let's start off. Come on, another minute. Are we done? Is everyone back? Come on, last 30 seconds and we're continuing. Okay, let's continue. Okay, let's talk about a sole proprietorship. Now, this we are talking about the different forms of business. When an individual makes a choice to start a business of one's own, to be one's own boss, a sole proprietorship emerges. As such, it can be regarded as the easiest and the earliest form of business as a human occupation. One may open a daily needs store in a corner room of one house, or may just set up a shop on the pavement in weekly bazaars, or may open a machine shop in the backyard or in a thinly habituated lane of not so distinct locality. This form of business organization is much appreciated. In entrepreneurship language, the sole entrepreneur is regarded as an economic hero and an autonomous individual who organizes production. Usually, creativity and ingenuity in innovation bears risks and uncertainty. Drawing an analogy from music, the sole entrepreneur is not merely the composer and director of the enterprise orchestra, but also as a one-person band. Of course, when the business grows, such an autonomous behavior becomes a limiting factor, as the entrepreneur's sole proprietorship is required to share decision making and let go control of the business. So, in short, entrepreneurship is the easiest and the earliest form of business. Any person who wishes to start a business, the fastest and the easiest way is to start a sole proprietorship business. Okay, but again, please remember, with the benefits come certain limitations as well. Okay, and again, beyond a certain point, then the entrepreneurship's expertise as well as capital is also limited. So he will have to let go control over the business. So it could be anything. You could start a small shop in the lane or in your house or whatever, and the sole proprietorship is the easiest way of starting up a business. Please take 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. All right, any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Okay. The business undertaking could be on such a small scale that it may hardly be distinguished from self-employment. It may not even be registered as a micro or small scale business enterprise or industry. It is an interesting fact that a very high proportion of micro and small businesses in India are unregistered. Usually, these enterprises, more so local retailers and street vendors, are so well integrated with the communities that they enjoy people's trust and provide personalized services. Together, these comprise the unorganized or informal sector of the economy. It is significant to note that even though individually these might appear of not much impact, yet collectively such enterprises make a tremendous contribution to the national economy. You would have observed that numerically these enterprises are the largest. Their collective contribution to the GDP, employment, and even exports is very impactful. This impact is even more considerable when we take into account their indirect contribution as suppliers to larger and even multinational enterprises. Their importance is summed up in the cliche, small is beautiful. Okay, so now we are talking about proprietorships. Proprietorships may appear small, but collectively they do impact the GDP and the overall environment very positively. Okay, please take a minute, go through this. Any question, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask me. Okay, let's talk about the next form of business, Hindu Undivided Family Business, HUF. HUF is an entity formed automatically by members of the common ancestry, including their wives and daughters, and HUF cannot be formed by a group of people who do not constitute a family. As such, a joint Hindu Undivided Hindu family in India is in fact and by default an HUF, and HUF enjoys a separate entity status under the Income Tax Act. The Income Tax Act considers HUF as a separate entity if the joint family wishes to register itself as such for reporting income under the following heads: profits and gains from business or profession, income from in-house property, capital gains, income from other sources. Since under the Income Tax Act, HUF is a separate entity from the joint family that comprises it, a HUF cannot earn income from salary. We are concerned whether the business owned by HUF or simply stating joint Hindu Undivided Family or Hindu Undivided Family Business. Before we describe its features, it would be appropriate to clarify a few points on its meaning. Okay, so a HUF simply means a Hindu Undivided Family comprising of a family that is husband, wife, sons and daughters. They can also start up an entity and continue business in a Hindu Undivided Family form. Okay, please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute or two. Any questions, please ask me. Let me know once you're done, please. Any questions, please ask. Okay. The meaning becomes clearer with reference to the prevalence of joint family system in India. The very essence of an HUF begins with family. A family is formed by marriage. Let's call it as the first generation. Marriage in most societies is a means to creation progenies, children. Thus, there is a second generation comprising the siblings. These siblings grow up, get married, and further have children. Now, there is a third generation, a consortium of cousins. In the paternal lineage, thus, there is a grandfather, father, and grandchildren. These three successive generations of an undivided family are known as HUF. Secondly, though the word Hindu is conspicuous, the definition of HUF includes Buddhist, Jain, Sikh families as well. Thirdly, for the purpose of understanding HUF's features as a business entity, another important relevant law is the Hindu Succession Act 1956. So, this thing says a Hindu undivided family is basically a consortium of generations of the Hindu families that come together to form a business, and Hindu includes the Buddhist, Jain, and Sikh families as well. So all of them can pull in all their generations together, and they can form a HUF to carry on their business. And another important relevant law is the Hindu Succession Act 1956. All right, please take a minute or two, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Take about 30 seconds more. Any questions, please ask me. Let me know once you're done, please. Okay, partnership. Now we discussed about proprietorship, HUF. Now let's talk about a partnership. Partnership implies contractual co-ownership of a business. It is a relationship between two or more persons who agree to share the profits as well as losses of a business. The businesses may be carried on by all or by some of the partners on behalf of all. The contract and agreement enforceable at law, called the deed, is the essence of partnership, called the partnership deed. It may be verbal or written. It specifies the basis of association of the persons in a partnership business, that is capital contribution, profit sharing. The deed may be registered in India under the Partnership Act in 1932. The liability of the partners in a partnership is unlimited. Thus, they can be called upon to pay the partnership's liabilities from their personal wealth. Alright, so now difference from the HUF and proprietorship is partnership, where two or more people come together to carry on a common business and share the profits and losses, and where the business is carried on by all or by some of them on behalf of all. Okay, and this is known as a partnership. The essence of a partnership is the partnership deed, which governs the entire relationship between partners. And the deed may be registered in India under the Indian Partnership Act 1932. The liability of the partners in a partnership is unlimited. That means they can be called upon to pay the partnership's liabilities from their personal wealth. Okay, please take 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Okay. Limited liability partnership, that is the difference from a partnership firm. Drawing on its name, LLP form of business organization is the one where liability of the partners is limited. However, there is much more to this form. It has to be mandatorily incorporated, registered under the Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs, the apex body of regulation of the company form of business organization in India, oversees the governance of the LLP too. For the purpose of compliance with the regulations thus imposed, the LLP Act provides for designated partners. Thus, an LLP has, as well as designated partners upon incorporation of LLP, becomes a separate legal entity and has an identity, as well as a life of its own, much the same way as its perpetual succession of the company. So, a limited liability is different from an Indian partnership under the Indian Partnership Act 1932 in the sense that it is registered under the MCA, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and it gets a separate legal entity and a perpetual succession, which is similar to a company form of organization. The features of LLP are mandatory incorporation, that means and separate legal entity of the LLP. Okay, so these are two distinguishing features of the LLP from the normal partnership. Please take 2 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Please take a minute more. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Okay. Then we have the company form of organization. The company form of business organization is the flag bearer of corporate businesses. Company indeed is a body corporate, having an existence independent of all its members. It exists in the contemplation of law, has a distinct name, address and registered office and identification number. Some recently introduced concepts in company form of businesses are one person company, OPC. In fact, the OPC has been the most recently introduced form of business organization in India. WIDE, the Companies Act 2013. It is still in emerging status, yet it is to be hailed as a likely catalyst in unleashing the entrepreneurial spirit in India. Recall that we posited sole proprietorship as the classical hallmark of entrepreneurship. OPC is likely to be its corporate form. In addition, the Companies Act 2013 also provides for the incorporation of small company in acknowledgement of the role of small-scale enterprises in India. Interestingly, the Act also provides for the incorporation of a dormant company that may be created for a future project or to hold an asset or intellectual property and has no significant accounting transaction. Okay, so the company form is the flag bearer of corporate businesses. There are various important features that a company has, like perpetual succession, separate legal entity, corporate veil, and other things. Okay, and that gives it the advantages. Please take 2 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions? Please ask. Any questions? Please ask. Okay. We shall, for the purpose of this chapter, however, restrict the discussion to two forms of companies: corporate form of businesses, private companies, and public companies. We are already aware of the ideas of independent legal existence, limited liability, and separation of ownership from management. We have also seen how a corporate status instills credibility and trust among the business associates. Let us emphasize how the idea of a joint stock company led to mobilization of a large amount of capital directly from the savers. People who have saved money and want to invest, and they invest by buying shares, part of the ownership of the company, by issuing of shares. A share is a share portion of the capital of the company in smaller denomination. In the process, capital market is developed and ownership of productive assets of an economy is democratized. Albeit this remains an ideal to aspire, as in practice the ownership of many public companies in India and other Asian countries is highly concentrated among a few hands promoters who own maximum number of shares of a particular company. Alright, so now, like under the Companies Act 2013, for this chapter we will discuss about private limited company and public limited company. A private limited company is a company owned by a small group of individuals, whereas a public limited company is mainly owned by the public as a whole. Please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Okay. In order to make the system of diffuse ownership of the joint stock companies and their management work, an elaborate system of corporate functioning and the regulation of capital markets has to be in place. The Companies Act 2013 focuses on the former, and the Securities and Exchange Board of India focuses on the latter. A company has to file a memorandum of association and articles of association along with application for incorporation. The MOA, among other things, spells out the objectives of the company and its business. The AOA focuses on its internal regulation. The company solicits capital contribution. It calls for people to invest in its shares and buy part of ownership by issue of prospectus. There are elaborate provisions in the Companies Act and the SEBI Act to ensure that the prospectus contains such true and correct information as may enable the public to form an informed judgment on whether or not to invest in a company. A common man can avail the services of investment advisors in this regard. Please take a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Please take a minute, go through this. Okay. Further, there is a requirement of the statutory audit of the accounts of a company and in publication of its quarterly results to keep the investors well informed. The SEBI also oversees the subsequent trading of the company shares and a contract of listing by which the shares of a company are put up for trading on a stock exchange. The listing agreement, among other things, also enjoins upon the companies to carry on business in an ethical, transparent, and accountable manner. Publicly traded listed companies, the ones whose shares are traded on a stock exchange, have to meet stringent criteria of both the Companies Act and the SEBI. This increases the cost of compliance. In contrast, private companies have lesser compliances to meet and have greater flexibility in their internal functioning. The law provides that these privileges to the private companies because these are closely held and the owners have greater opportunity to exercise control over the management of these companies. There is little surprise that the Indian corporate sector is numerically denominated by private limited companies. In fact, the world over there has been a distinct trend toward privatization of such public limited companies in a view to grow cost of compliances. So one of the main differences between private limited companies and public limited companies is in public limited companies the cost of compliances is quite high as compared to private limited companies, and that is the reason why more and more public limited companies are getting into privatization. Okay, please take a minute, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Okay, so with this we end the first chapter on Introduction to Business and Commercial Knowledge. I hope you enjoyed the session and found it useful. So thank you so much for being a wonderful audience, and please do not forget to use the code Prathik when you are making your subscription for a Plus platform to get an instant discount of 10% on the listed price. So come, let's crack CA exams with Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience, and I will see you in the evening. Thank you.